As I'm recording this, the 12.0 update just came out, and they didn't exactly tell us anything about weapons beyond we've made some serious enhancements to many ranged weapons, most notably shotgun, snipers, bows, and grenade launchers, and some of our older weapons. So what we've got to work with are certain classes, shotgun, snipers, bows, and grenade launchers, and the fact that some of the older weapons got touched. Now, from what I can figure, this mostly refers to base game weapons, so anything in here might have gotten buffed. That includes the Siege Breaker, the Terminator, just anything inside of here needs some testing, and the expansion schematics, which is pretty much every weapon that I'm going to talk about today, save for a few. And I'm so excited to talk about some of the shotguns that have been buffed because they got some major improvements. Now, they didn't release any numbers in terms of which weapon specifically got changed or exactly how much they got changed by, but what we do have is this. I was clicking through my best shotguns video, which is not only a plug and something you should check out, but also a very good time capsule because I at least hovered over most, if not all, of the best shotguns in the entire game, and then some of the lesser known shotguns as well. It's by no means a complete showing, and it's not extremely scientific, but I was at least able to get a before and after of every single shotgun that I was at least curious about today, and it seems like every single shotgun that I looked at in here got better. Even some like the Pulsar 9000 only got like a couple percent better, but it was still an improvement. My staccato shadow went down, but that's because I changed my 5th perk, so it doesn't really show as well. And then there were some others like the helium shotgun that I couldn't find, but more or less I'm going to try and just overlay a before and after for every single one of these, and if you want to check your own shotguns and maybe perk them up the same to compare, you can check out that best shotguns video down below to see how much better it got. Now, I was pretty on the money with a lot of the shotguns that I showed. The Tiger Jaw got slightly better when I thought that it got much better, and then, you know, like the Ground Pounder got a much bigger buff, but I'm happy to report that with that best shotguns video, I would like to think that the tier list, or at least my explanation of each of those shotguns, remains mostly accurate. Some of the older weapons might actually be considerably more viable nowadays, but those would more or less just be added to the video, and I don't think that any of the shotguns showed are necessarily unusable, especially since all of them got a buff. These are not all of the weapons that have been changed, surely. These are just the ones that I've noticed, and I think it's enough of a variety to show you guys that a lot of the old shotguns just got buffed by a ton. For example, the Tiger Jaw went from really good to great, and the Room Sweeper went from really good to great. I always place these weapons on about the same scale, where the Room Sweeper did less damage but shot faster, and the Tiger Jaw did more damage, shot slower. You know the old drill. The Ground Pounder is just one of my favorite shotguns, period. And what I'm so excited about is the fact that I don't think any of these shotguns needed this. Like, I don't think shotguns needed a buff. However, after using it in game, I found that I can understand why they did it. In fact, I was using an SMG loadout later in the stream where I was shooting a smasher that my teammates were shooting, and I was doing good damage, as you'd expect, but I was a bit further back. They were up front chunking it for damage. Now, you'd think, oh, that shotgun's so overpowered, but you're really only getting that insane 500,000 DPS, and you're only critting for the hundreds of thousands when you're in the fight, up next to the enemy, putting yourself in danger where you might actually, you know, see some balance here. And of course, the damage drop-off is huge. I mean, that damage goes down very, very fast, specifically related to your range, and I think it's very interesting. Now, beyond all that, the Pulsar 9000, for example, went from great to also still great. It got no notable change that I could find, and using it for the footage for this video and in the stream prior, I found that the Pulsar 9000 is still great, like I said. I mean, the other weapons got a buff, and now they're more or less going toe-to-toe with the best weapons rather than being straight-up overpowered. This is what I used for the entire video. This is what I was using in the stream. I'm going to link my shotgun loadout in the description below so you guys can form your own shotgun loadout, and that video will go much more in depth on how I picked these heroes and why I use them. I don't honestly know what else to say now. This is more of like a call to arms. As I said, we don't really know every weapon that they changed, and I have no doubt that there are more shotguns that got buffed. In fact, I'll throw in some extra information, like the snowball launcher is now actually good. The grenade launchers got a really decent buff, and it's exciting to see that these weapons are now like actually viable. I was testing in 140 zones the entire stream just because these weapons are so good now, and the snowball launcher was just crushing. I do not remember it doing nearly that much damage, and I'm so happy that this this happened, but I really wish they would have given us more information. So the call to arms part is, let me know in the comments below if any weapon is just significantly better than you remember it being. I wasn't personally able to find any snipers that weren't bows that got buffed from this update, even though they were listed as a specific example. Like, my spyglass is still hitting just as hard, and the obliterator wasn't really impressing me that much beyond what it already impressed me with by being just a great sniper. I couldn't actually find any specific changes, but if you're watching this video and you didn't know about the shotgun change, seriously, throw on a shotgun loadout. All my best perks for these weapons that I've covered will be in the description below. They haven't changed. The best perks are still what I'd recommend, and I'd still go with them. I didn't change my shotguns here at all, and they were absolutely crushing it in game. Once again, that list is the Tiger Jaw, the Room Sweeper, the Pop Shot, the Husk Buster, which I haven't made a video on, but its perks are identical to the Ground Pounder. The Ground Pounder I have covered, the Bear, the Double Boiler, and I'll even link the Pulsar 9000 just because it's an incredible shotgun, and even though I didn't find any specific change for that weapon. So honestly, that's about all I got for today's video. Just a massive community announcement that shotguns are freaking insane right now. When I hovered over them just messing around in game and saw that my Tiger Jaw was hitting for over 500,000, I knew that something was up and we had to go and test these. I am so glad they made this change. As I said, I'm going to repeat myself a little bit here, but I didn't think it was necessary. But now that I've been using these shotguns in game, they went from like pretty viable if you love shotguns like I did to a serious contender even in the highest 144 player missions, because if you're up there in the action and you don't mind being close up to the enemies with a shotgun, you're going to do a ton of damage and you're going to make that guy standing on the base pretty upset that he didn't get the kill. So hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If I missed anything, let me know. Please tell me any weapons that have been buffed by this update. I want to try out as many as I can. I've been streaming all day, like 10 hours a piece, so let me know in a stream especially, or in the comments down below. Join our Discord if you haven't already. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a nice day.